All right, gentlemen. The Bulls need to move forward. Obviously, we have a lot of time to think about this and a lot of time to talk about this. If you are the Bulls front office, who we will probably hear from, Monday, Will?
At the latest.
At the latest. If you are in their shoes, that's the hard part. Criticizing is the easy part, but the hard part is to say, what would you do to fix this? What do you think is the Bulls' realistic realm, possibility, first thing you do to fix what's broken right now?
Well, it's difficult because, as we talked about yesterday, and Mark pointed out a really interesting note, which is that, like, in a lot of ways, the Bulls aren't in control of what's going to happen right now because Vooch is unrestricted, and he's obviously a focal point of not only your offseason but of your entire team. So that's a big one. But my first call is, as soon as the draft lottery is over, I'm calling Portland, and I'm asking them what they can give me to get their pick back. What can I get? That. Whether it's that Knicks pick, whether it's a young player, whether it's just unprotecting it next year, to somehow extract value out of that. They are obviously in a really tough situation with Dame, basically telling everybody, media, you calling up your mom, telling her, I am not sticking around for a 2 to 3 year rebuild. I want to win today. And they've got a lot of interesting pieces. They're going to have a top 5-ish pick. They've got Shaedon Sharpe. They've got Anthony Simons. They've got Tybal, Cam Reddish, a lot of guys that they can package together. But they don't have any future first-round picks because they owe theirs to the Bulls, lottery protected. If it doesn't fall in the lottery, it gets pushed off to the next year. So because of the Stepien rule, they're not able to move that. So if they can get something from the Blazers, that is going to be huge because right now they're basically working without any assets. They can trade their 2027, 2029 picks, but do you really want to reinvest into this core? I'm not so sure, especially with the way Vooch's free agency is going to go. So that's the first thing I'm looking into. The second thing is trying to get a sense of, like, is Vooch interested in coming back? What's the market for him? Does he want to be a free agent? Does he want to test out the market? So if he wants to come back, is it a team-friendly deal? If he doesn't want to come back, can I work out a sign and trade with another team so that I can get something in return? I think those are the first two sort of immediate things that you want to look at. And then you got to take calls on your main guys. That includes Zach, Vooch, DeMar, and Caruso I'll throw in there as well, because the way that he defends, I mean, he's going to be first team all defense this year. A lot of teams would want him for $10 million a year for 2 more seasons. DeMar, obviously, 1 more year on his deal, but he is an all-star player. He's going to command a lot of respect. And then the way that Zach played down the end of this year and in that first playing game, like, his trade value is going to be through the roof. So if they want to move off of him and go that direction, just to get a sense of what the market is, I think you're not going to see obviously anything until, like, the draft or free agency, but I could see them waiting to see if other dominoes fall, to put pressure on other teams and sort of drive up the price on those guys. Because I do think at this point, not all 3 of those guys are going to be back next
Larry's actually got an idea, Will. Maybe you could tell it to AK in his postseason press conference. He says, trade Zach even if the offer is bad. So
wow.
That's an interesting call.
I think that's where a lot of fans are right now, and I understand that. But the Bulls have a lot of good players. Obviously, it didn't work out the way that you want it to, and they did underperform their talent level. But you have to make moves from a position of power. You cannot fall into the trap of overpaying guys or trading off of guys to not get maximum value. I think that's how you get into this situation in the first place with the Jimmy Butler trade, where you're not getting any future first-round picks. That can really set you back. So you have to get value. That has to be the primary objective here. And if that comes at the cost of trading all 3 of those guys or trading none of those guys, you have to find value. I think that's first and foremost.